Hi, and welcome to the BDM Perspective. My name is Brian, and thanks for tuning in. If you're new to this channel is meant to inspire and motivate myself and others to try new things and to look at things from a different perspective. If you like what you see, please think about liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so today I had a completely different topic that I wanted to record and talk about. I had the script already, was about to record it, but I decided to change topics and record this instead. And I got this idea actually by talking to a very close person to me, and we had a really good conversation where they really inspired me and let me in on something that I never really thought about too much. And it really just helped me figure out a different way to motivate myself. Because at that time in that conversation, I just wasn't feeling motivated, just wasn't feeling it. And this topic is what really came about it. So with that talk, it really helped me figure out how I was able to accomplish things in the past and what really motivated me. And there was different things throughout. So with guitar, it was I just wanted to learn, songs that I really enjoyed. And then with like sales, it was to prove other people that thought I couldn't do it wrong and to also prove myself that I could do it. And so there's different things that have happened throughout that motivated me in a different aspect. And of course, when you do these things, there's also willpower and focus. And I think that's the thing that most of us are really concentrated on is, willpower and focus. If we just grind it out, if we're just keep on going, work as hard as possible. And although that is very important, there are other factors that help you motivate and help you go beyond that. So I was talking about willpower and focus. And like I said, willpower and focus are very important, don't get me wrong. And the good thing about willpower and focus is that you can push those things. You can get better at willpower, you can get better at focusing if you work on those things. And so if you want to get better at a skill, you do need that focus and you do need that willpower to improve. But what happens is that we spread ourselves, we have so many different things going. And so maybe you're focused on getting better at fitness, getting better at your job or your career or any type of thing. And you're splitting your time and everything. Well, you have a set amount of focus and willpower each day. And when you're focusing more on fitness, your willpower and focus go down. And then if you're trying to transfer to your career, you're at that baseline of focus and willpower that you have left over from that fitness goal. And so eventually, as you go through your day, your willpower and focus get depleted until like the end of the day where you don't really want to do anything at all. So what a lot of people would say in these situations is that you just need to build more willpower. You just need to focus more. You just need to grind more. You just need to work harder. And although in some situations, yes, you can build more willpower, you can build more focus, and that is important, that's not the only thing. In order to motivate yourself in these times where you don't feel motivated, there's an intrinsic value within you. There's a reason, there's a why. Why are you doing this? And so many of us have different whys. And for some of us, they're extrinsic whys. So we want to get this house, we want to get this car, we want to get all these things. And for some of us, that works really well. For others, it doesn't work as well. For me personally, I don't really care too much about those things. And that's where, for others, there's an intrinsic value where it's a value within us. And sometimes it's about, helping our family, supporting them, or just feeling good about helping others or a career that we feel we're valued in. But in order to get to that point, or to get to any of these points, there's a risk involved. And that's what this is about. So that's what the talk that I had the other day was about taking a big risk. You don't gain anything from being comfortable. There is always a risk involved in order to get that reward. And so when I say this is that there's a motivating factor when you've got something on the line. There is a risk. So say you put a lot of money into real estate or a lot of money into this business. You're going to focus more on that. You're going to put your all in there because you've got a lot on the line. Say your family member is, they have a dire illness and they need money in order to pay for their treatment or whatnot. You're going to do everything that you can to get money to help them out. And that's what I talk about, where there's a risk. There's something on the line that you need to do something. You need to find a solution in order to figure this out. And so why we need this risk is because it ties into our why. When we have a why of what we're doing things and there's a risk behind it, it pushes us. And I think that's just a part of just us as humans in general. We need to have this risk. I think we just need to live life on the edge somewhat, just to push us. Because if we don't live life on the edge, we're just in this sense of complacency. Because then we think about, well, I don't really need to push myself because I have something to fall back on. Like I'm fine where I'm at. And so I think, at least for me, that's what happens. Like, why push myself even further if I can fall back on this? And so that's when we think about these things. It's just, there's no need to go further. There's no need to risk it. But once we get to that point of risking it, that's where we're all in. We put the cards on the table. There's nothing back. We're only looking forward. We can't look back because there's nothing behind us protecting us. We've got to go all in and do this. And just us as people, as humans, that's a scary thing. We're very afraid of that. And I am as well. But it's not until you get to this edge of living, to where you fully push yourself and realize what you're capable of. And we can see this aspect of how we think of things, even in school and in our jobs. Think about the time where you had a deadline, you had a project, you had a test, whatnot, and you didn't work on it until the night before. You had months to prepare, but you didn't do it until the night before. You procrastinated because now you had to do it. Now there was a risk involved. Now all cylinders are go. You have to get this done or else you're going to fail, or else you're not going to pass the class. And that's how our mind works in many things. We have to have something on the line. We have to risk something. And that conversation really showed me that that's really where I'm at. Until I put something on the line, until I risk something, I'm not going to motivate myself beyond my willpower and focus. My willpower and focus can only take me so far, and after they're depleted, there's no reason to continue. I have something to fall back on. But when you risk it all and you deplete all your willpower and focus, there's a push. There's a push to continue on. There's a push to go beyond your limits. There is a reason to go beyond your limits. Because there's people counting on you, and there's nothing behind you that can protect you. There's nothing to fall back on. There's no one that's going to save you. You've got to save yourself. And when you've got to save yourself, that's where creativity comes into play. That's where the ingenuity comes to play. That's where you're going to find a solution, because you have to find a solution. Solutions will come to you. And although this is really difficult to really think about, because we are fearful of the unknown, and this is a big unknown. And this is still something I am somewhat struggling with, but I'm starting to realize, especially after this conversation, that you just got to go all in. And whatever you're doing, you just put your cards on the table and you just do it. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. And that's the importance of having a why on what you're doing, but also once you have that why and you know what you're doing, to risk it all. You just got to go all in and do it. Until you risk it all, you're not going to know your full potential. Even though it's very difficult because we're very afraid of that unknown, we don't know what's to be expected. You're never going to know that, and you're never going to reach your full potential until you risk it. Because falling back on willpower and falling back on focus can only take you so far. All right, so I'll end the video there. And I just thought that was a really important thing that I recently, talked to someone about, and it was very, eye-opening to me. And I think this will help not only myself, but many other people in realizing that, yeah, you just have to risk it sometimes. So this wasn't the video I had originally planned or scripted out and had already prepared. I'll shoot that one another day and post it on here. But this is a message that really spoke to me, and I thought I'd make a video on it and share it with you guys. So if you have any questions or any input on it, please leave it down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and hope to see you back on the next video. You guys have a good one. Peace out.